That's beyond unsettling. Finding those videos, especially one of you sleeping, would make anyone's skin crawl. Here's what you can do to protect yourself and figure out what's going on. Secure your safety first. Check your home. Look for signs of intrusion, doors, windows, locks, or anything out of place. Consider installing a security camera or motion sensor for peace of mind. Change your routines. If someone's watching you, vary your schedule and routes to make it harder for them to track you. Contact authorities. This is potentially criminal, stalking, trespassing, or worse. Share the videos with the police immediately. They'll need the phone for evidence, so don't delete anything. Investigate the phone. Don't use it for now. If it's compromised, using it could tip off whoever's behind this. Power it off and remove the battery if possible. Check for tracking apps. If you must turn it on, look for unfamiliar apps or settings, e.g., cloud backups, remote access tools. A factory reset might help, but only after preserving evidence. Trace the phone's history. The flea market seller might know something. If you have their contact or remember details, booth number, date, pass that to the police. Protect your digital security. Scan for malware. If you access the phone, use a trusted antivirus app to check for spyware. Avoid connecting it to Wi-Fi or other devices. Secure your accounts. Change passwords for anything you accessed on the phone, email, social media, etc. Enable two-factor authentication. Preserve evidence. Back up the videos to a secure, offline device, like a USB drive, before handing the phone to authorities. Note the folder's name, location, and any metadata, dates, times. Document everything: when you bought the phone, when you found the folder, and what you saw in the videos. Consider professional help. A cybersecurity expert can analyze the phone for hidden software or connections. If you feel unsafe, a private investigator might help trace the source. Sat frozen on my couch, the phone lying face down on the coffee table like some cursed artifact. The dim glow of my living room lamp felt too weak against the weight of what I'd just seen. My heart hadn't stopped pounding since I watched that last video. Me, sprawled in bed, oblivious, while someone stood close enough to capture every breath. The timestamp was from 2 nights ago. I live alone. No roommates, no pets, no one with a key. I forced myself to stand, my legs shaky, and double-checked every lock in my apartment. The deadbolt on the front door was secure, the windows latched, nothing out of place. But the unease gnawed at me. How did someone get in? I grabbed a kitchen knife, feeling ridiculous but needing something solid in my hand, and started searching for anything off. I checked under the bed, behind curtains, even inside closets, half expecting to find a hidden camera winking at me. Nothing. Yet the video existed, and that was proof enough someone had been here. The phone felt like the key to this nightmare. I hadn't turned it on since last night, too paranoid it might somehow tip off whoever was behind this. But I needed answers. Wrapping my sleeve over my hand like a makeshift glove, I powered it on, careful not to leave more fingerprints. The screen lit up, and I navigated back to the hidden folder, buried in a maze of system files labeled Cache Temp. There were 47 videos, each about 2 to 5 minutes long. I hadn't watched them all. My nerve broke after seeing myself, but I scrolled through the thumbnails. Grainy images of people walking down streets, sitting in cafes, or waiting at bus stops. Strangers mostly, but the settings looked local. The same city park I jogged through, the diner a few blocks away. My stomach twisted as I recognized more landmarks. I hesitated, then played one of the older videos, keeping the volume low. It showed a woman, maybe in her 30s, walking through that park at dusk. The camera stayed at a distance, shaky but deliberate, tracking her until she got into a car and drove off. The timestamp was 6 months ago, before I'd even bought the phone. Whoever owned it before me had been doing this for a while, stalking people, stalking me. I needed to go to the police, but something stopped me. What if they didn't take it seriously? Or worse, what if they thought I was involved? I bought the phone from a flea market, cash, no receipt. The seller was a wiry guy with a baseball cap pulled low, his table cluttered with old electronics. He'd barely looked at me, just muttered, "$50, works fine," and handed it over. I tried to recall his face, but it was a blur. Too many months had passed. My phone, the new one I'd bought after this mess, buzzed on the table. A text from an unknown number. "Check the folder again." My blood ran cold. I hadn't given this number to anyone recently, and I sure as hell hadn't connected the old phone to Wi-Fi. How did they know I was looking? I stared at the message, my thumb hovering over the screen when the old phone chimed. A new file had appeared in the folder. No name, just a timestamp, 10 minutes ago. I didn't want to open it, but my hands moved on their own, trembling as I tapped the file. The video loaded, and there I was, standing in my kitchen, knife in hand, checking the locks. The angle was high, like it was shot from the ceiling. I whipped around, scanning the corners of my apartment, heart hammering. Nothing. No camera, no blinking light. But the video was real, and it was now. I stood in the middle of my kitchen, the knife still clutched in my hand, my eyes darting to every corner of the ceiling. The video was still playing on the old phone, looping my own frantic movements from minutes ago. My pulse thundered in my ears, drowning out the faint hum of the refrigerator. Whoever was doing this wasn't just watching. They were here asterisk, or at least their tech was. The high angle of the video suggested a camera somewhere above me, but the ceiling was bare. No smoke detectors, no light fixtures, just smooth plaster. I grabbed a chair, dragged it under the spot where the camera seemed to be, and climbed up, running my fingers along the surface. Nothing. No seams, no lenses, no sign of anything. My new phone buzzed again. Another text from the unknown number. "Look closer." I froze, the words sinking in like a threat. They knew I was searching. I glanced at the old phone, still looping the video, and noticed something I hadn't before. A faint shadow in the corner of the frame, moving slightly like someone adjusting their position while filming. My stomach lurched. Was someone in the apartment right now? I tightened my grip on the knife and crept toward the living room, checking every shadow, every doorway. The apartment was small, one bedroom, a bathroom, a combined kitchen and living area, but it felt like a labyrinth now, every corner hiding a potential threat. I checked the closet again, the bathroom, shower, even under the couch. Nothing. No one. But the video didn't lie, and neither did the texts. I went back to the old phone and forced myself to open another video from the folder, one I hadn't watched yet. It was dated a month ago, before I'd even noticed anything strange. The footage showed a man, maybe 40, walking through the flea market where I'd bought the phone. The camera followed him from a distance, weaving through stalls, lingering as he haggled over a lamp. Then at the edge of the frame, I saw it, the seller, my seller. His baseball cap was unmistakable, pulled low over his eyes as he watched the man from his table of electronics. The video cut off abruptly. My mind raced. Was the seller behind this? Was he planting phones with cameras, watching people, selling them like some sick game? Or was he just a middleman passing along someone else's twisted project? I needed to find him, but the flea market only ran on weekends, and it was late Saturday night. I'd have to wait until tomorrow morning to track him down, if he was even still there. Another buzz from my new phone. This time it wasn't a text, it was a photo. My hands shook as I opened it. The image showed my apartment door, taken from the hallway outside, time-stamped now. I ran to the door, knife raised, and checked the peephole. The hallway was empty, fluorescent lights flickering faintly. I flung the door open, half expecting to catch someone sprinting away, but there was nothing, just the usual quiet of my building at 3 a.m. Back inside, I locked the door and wedged a chair under the handle. My mind was spiraling. The videos, the texts, the photo, it was all too coordinated, too precise. Someone wasn't just watching me, they were playing with me. I grabbed a notebook and started jotting down everything. The flea market, the seller's description, the folder's name, the timestamps. If I was going to the police, I needed to be clear, not sound like a paranoid wreck. But the thought of waiting until morning felt like a trap. What if they came back while I slept? Then I noticed something on the old phone. The battery was at 3%, even though it had been nearly full when I powered it on. I hadn't used it that long. Was something running in the background, transmitting data? I opened the settings, fumbling through menus, and found an app I didn't recognize. Track. No icon, no description, just a process eating up battery and data. I tried to uninstall it, but it was locked, requiring a password. The phone's screen flickered and a new notification popped up. Track, upload complete. Before I could react, the old phone shut off, battery dead. My new phone buzzed again. Another text. "You're not alone." The text on my new phone. My apartment, once a safe haven, now felt like a cage. Every creak of the floorboards, every hum of the vents sounded like a threat. I gripped the knife tighter, my knuckles white, and spun around, half expecting to see someone lurking in the shadows. Nothing. Just the faint glow of the lamp and the dead phone on the table. But the message was clear. They were watching, and they wanted me to know it. I couldn't stay here, not with that photo of my door and the chilling possibility someone was still close. The police station was a 15-minute drive, but it was 3:25 a.m., and the idea of stepping into the dark hallway felt like walking into a trap. Still, I couldn't just wait for whoever this was to make their next move. I needed to act to take control, even if my hands were shaking. First, I grabbed a backpack and stuffed in essentials. My wallet, keys, the notebook with my scribbled details, and the dead phone. I wasn't leaving it behind. It was evidence, and maybe a tech expert could crack that SysTrack app. I slipped the knife into my jacket pocket, feeling its weight against my side, and threw on a hoodie to blend into the night. The chair was still wedged under the door handle, but I moved it, checked the peephole again, empty hallway, and stepped out, locking the door behind me. The building was silent, the kind of quiet that amplifies every sound. My footsteps echoed as I hurried down the stairwell, avoiding the elevator. Outside, the street was deserted, the air cold and damp. My car was parked a block away, and I scanned every shadow as I walked, my hand on the knife. A streetlight flickered, and for a split second I thought I saw movement across the road, a figure ducking behind a parked van. I froze, heart hammering, but nothing moved again. Maybe it was my imagination, maybe not. I didn't wait to find out. I got to my car, locked the doors, and sat for a moment, catching my breath. The police station was my best bet, but I couldn't shake the thought of the flea market seller. He was the only lead I had, and the market would open in a few hours. If I went to the police now, they might take the phone, and I'd lose my chance to confront him before he disappeared. But waiting felt reckless, especially with that last text still haunting me. I decided to split the difference. I'd drive to the police station, park nearby, and wait until dawn. If I felt safe, I'd head to the flea market first thing to find the seller, then go straight to the cops with whatever I learned. I started the car, the engines rumble a small comfort, and pulled onto the road. My new phone was silent, but I kept glancing at it, dreading another text. As I drove, I couldn't stop thinking about SysTrack. That app was the key, uploading something to someone. I needed to know what it was sending and where. There was a 24-hour coffee shop a block from the police station, a place I could charge the old phone and maybe figure out more. Risky, but I was running out of options. I pulled into the coffee shop's lot at 3:45 a.m., the neon sign casting a red glow over the empty tables inside. I grabbed the old phone's charger from my bag and headed in. The barista barely looked up as I ordered a black coffee and claimed a booth in the corner, away from the windows. I plugged in the old phone, watching the screen flicker to life. The battery icon showed 1%, creeping up slowly. I opened the settings again, navigating to the SysTrack app. It was still locked, but I noticed something new, a log file tucked in its data folder, time-stamped from the last upload. I opened it and my blood ran cold. It was a list of coordinates, dates, and times, all corresponding to places I'd been. My apartment, the grocery store, the park. The last entry was the coffee shop's address, logged 5 minutes ago. A notification popped up on the phone. SysTrack, new upload initiated. Before I could react, the lights in the coffee shop flickered and the barista's head snapped up. She stared at me, her expression blank, then reached under the counter. I heard a click, like a lock turning, and the door to the back room creaked open. The coffee shop's fluorescent lights buzzed faintly as they flickered again, casting long shadows across the empty tables. The barista's hand lingered under the counter, her eyes locked on mine, unblinking, like she was waiting for something. The click I'd heard echoed in my mind, and the creak of the back room door sent a chill down my spine. The old phone in my hand vibrated as the SysTrack app's new upload initiated message pulsed on the screen. My coordinates, my every move, were being sent somewhere, maybe to whoever was behind that door. I had seconds to decide. Run, confront her, or try to stop the upload. I shoved the phone into my pocket, grabbed my backpack, and stood, keeping the knife hidden but ready in my jacket. The barista didn't move, just watched, her hand still out of sight. "Everything okay?" I asked, forcing my voice to stay steady. She didn't answer, but her lips twitched into a faint, unsettling smile. That was enough. I bolted for the exit, slamming through the glass door into the cold night air. The parking lot was empty, my car a lone silhouette under the streetlights. I sprinted to it, fumbling with my keys, and locked myself inside. My hands shook as I started the engine, glancing back at the coffee shop. The barista was at the window now, staring out, her phone glowing in her hand. Was she part of this? I didn't wait to find out. I peeled out of the lot, heading for the police station 3 minutes away. As I drove, the old phone buzzed again. Against my better judgment, I glanced at it. SysTrack's upload had finished, and a new video had appeared in the hidden folder. I shouldn't have looked, but I did. It was me, seconds ago, running across the parking lot to my car. The angle was from above, like a drone or a streetlight camera. My stomach dropped. They were still watching, even now. I pulled into the police station lot at 4:02 a.m., parking under a floodlight for safety. The station's neon sign glowed steadily, a small reassurance. I grabbed the old phone, my notebook, and my new phone, still silent since that last text, and headed inside. The front desk officer, a tired-looking woman with a buzz cut, raised an eyebrow as I spilled my story. The flea market phone, the videos, the one of me sleeping, the texts, the coffee shop. I handed over the phone, pointing out the SysTrack app and the log file. She listened, jotting notes, her expression unreadable. "We'll take it from here," she said, bagging the phone. "Stay in town and don't touch anything else that might be evidence. We'll need a statement tomorrow." She gave me a card with a case number and sent me off. I felt lighter but exposed, like I'd handed over my only shield. I didn't sleep when I got home. I spent the rest of the night tearing my apartment apart, searching for cameras or mics. I found nothing, but the unease lingered. At dawn, I drove to the flea market, desperate for answers. The seller's stall was gone, replaced by a woman selling handmade scarves. She said she'd never seen a guy with a baseball cap selling electronics. No one had. Days passed. The police called me in to review the phone's data. SysTrack was a custom app, they said, tied to a dark web server that was now offline. The videos were being uploaded to an encrypted cloud, accessed by multiple users, none traceable yet. The other people in the videos were being identified, some local, some missing. They wouldn't say more, just that it was an ongoing investigation. I got a new phone, changed my locks, and installed cameras in my apartment. No more texts came, no more videos. But every night I checked the footage, half expecting to see myself sleeping, watched by an unseen lens. The police haven't called in weeks, and the flea market seller's face is still a blur in my memory. I tell myself it's over, that I'm safe now. But sometimes when I'm alone, I feel it. A prickling on the back of my neck, like someone's still out there, just out of sight, waiting for the next upload.